It's got the most swearing of any show I watch, but it is
nice.
I can't watch it around Sarah, but man, it's good.
That's Holly with like violence. Like she does not like violence in any show at all.
My wife, it's anytime an animal dies or gets killed. You could line up 100 people being killed, just unfazed. One horse dies in battle. Who would do this?
Interesting.
Worst movie ever.
Yeah.
Hello and welcome to the Infinity Bros podcast, the only podcast that's perfectly balanced, as all things should be. My name is Isaac Edlin. I'm your host tonight, and I am joined by two other Infinity Bros. One is my common co-host that has been joining me for the past couple months. It is the tinfoil hat distributor of the Infinity Bros podcast, Mark Jones. How you doing, Mark?
Hi. I'm back. Glad to be here from my Joker Batman card. I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to go into the weeds, get deep in the weeds over our topic today.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Get so deep, fun. Max might blush.
And speaking of Max, the other Infinity Bro that is joining us today, the number 3 out of 6, the prodigal son of the Infinity Bros podcast, Max Mosier. How you doing, Max?
I'm doing well. I'm grateful to be here. I'm happy to be back. I've had a recent run of getting invited onto serious podcasts that talk about serious topics. So I'm really glad to be with Mark and have him introduce me the way he did and really frustrate me yet again on this podcast.
I mean, that is kind of a staple of the Infinity Bros podcast is Max getting flustered by Mark. So we got to go back to the basics of the Infinity Bros podcast once in a while. So
yeah, you gotta do the fundamentals, and I appreciate that about Mark.
Exactly. Got to do some fundamentals, and we're going to be talking a lot of fun stuff that, as Mark said, we're getting into the weeds, and I'm sure he'll be dragging Max right down into the weeds with us. So, but first, if you're a first-time listener to the Infinity Bros podcast, we are a group of 6 guys, a rotating cast that discuss film, TV, video games, pop culture news, kind of whatever is on our minds. And we have a special rating system that we use that I will plug right here.
Here on the Infinity Bros podcast, everything is ranked from a 0 to 6 point scale. 0 meaning horrible, and 6 meaning absolutely excellent. If all of the Infinity Bros rank something a 6, it gets an infinity step.
So welcome. Sit back, enjoy the show, and be sure to hit us up on socials with all of your disagreements of everything that we're saying. Let's just get into a little bit of a preview here. We're going to be talking on our new segment about some trailers that just recently dropped. And then we're going to be talking the new show on Apple TV. I was going to say Apple TV Plus. It's not Apple TV Plus anymore. It's just Apple TV. Pluribus. And we just got into this. I mean, I've heard a couple reviews, and then Max, I think you said last week, like, oh man, Pluribus is insane. And I was like, I've heard good things about that. It's an Apple TV show. And we talked on the Patreon about how Apple TV is just crushing it right now. Like every show that's coming out is absolutely insane and solid. So I had faith that this show was going to be good, and it did not disappoint. But before we get into all of that stuff, we do want to take a little bit of time to highlight Twin Cities Con, which we actually just went to last weekend. All 3 of us got to go on Friday, and it was really a blast. We got to hang out with our mutual friend Joey. Shout out to Joey on the podcast again. 2 weeks in a row, Joey has gotten a shout out. That doesn't really happen on our podcast.
Are we going to add a new member? Is that what we're doing?
Maybe. I don't know. No, we can't add Joey because he's one of those staunch Iron Man supporters. I don't think we can have another one of those.
Yeah, who would be an Iron Man supporter? Those guys should be round up and put in camps.
Well, that's what they did.
This
to the
is what I'm talking about, Mark.
Camp.
What are we doing right now?
What, are you an Iron Man supporter?
No, but I'm saying we can't
be
having that type of rhetoric.
What kind of rhetoric?
No,
they don't belong in society.
Read the room, Mark.
I am reading the room. I would never want to be in the room with someone who's an Iron Man supporter.
Yeah, never. Mark would never, ever do that. Oh, man. That's still the best argument I think, ever, is that like we bring that up and we still argue Team Cap or Team Iron Man. Like
We're blood
every
in, blood
single
out
time.
with that stuff.
Blood
This
in, blood
isn't
out.
even an argument. Like
It's
the
not.
irony
Iron
of
Man
this whole
clearly
thing
was the bad guy in this.
is just that Captain America's better. It's the end of the
Well,
story.
actually, you know what? So Joey reference again. He mentioned the other day how if you're talking comics, it is a different conversation because Iron Man is 100% the bad guy in the comics, like completely, like even painted as the bad guy. Like he's the bad guy in the comics. You get to the MCU and yeah, he's still wrong, but like you can see both sides. Like I understand why there are people that are Iron Man supporters. They're
And
still
yes,
wrong,
For
but
context, the argument in our friend group isn't the general comic book. It is
right, it's the
MCU,
right?
post, like all of, phase 1, 2, 3, all, every saga, all that
right.
stuff, all that jazz.
That's what our conversation usually focuses on. But again, Iron Man still in the wrong, but at least you can make an argument for MCU Iron Man. Comic Iron Man, like there's no question. Like he's the bad guy. So, but we're going to be talking a little bit about Twin Cities Con. Like I said, we went on Friday, and then Mark and I got to go on Sunday again. Got to see a lot of cool cosplays, got to see a lot of sweet merchandise. We didn't go to anybody's autograph booths this year. Maybe next year. We've been talking maybe an Infinity Bros booth next year. Who knows?
Take
Stay
shots off
tuned.
of Robert Redbeard.
Yeah, he will just be like on his coattails as people are coming to his booth and trying to get magic cards signed by him, and we're just gonna be like, hey, and we're a nerd podcast.
Big Bros podcast.
We're also here.
We rank stuff out of 6.
I've had a lot of people on socials ask that over the last couple of weeks, and it's a great opportunity to be like, hey guys, guess what? This 20,000 follower account actually is about a podcast that you should go listen to if you're so inclined. But Mark, what was your favorite thing about Twin Cities Con? I know you got quite a haul that we posted on our socials, but maybe like what was your favorite thing about Twin Cities Con, and what was the favorite thing that you acquired?
Oh yeah, big fan of the people that are like willing to dress up and like. And I was talking to our friend Joey, so there's a third reference to Joey about.
He's gonna be famous.
I'm a big fan of both the low rent costuming, where it's like not like, hey, I got to put a mask on, not like that, but like I utilize what I could to like really kind of, you can tell who it is, who you're trying to be, but they're also the people that like go all in. Like we saw Doc Ock out there. It's like the hours that went in to put that costume together.
Right.
I would say
you
I
could
saw
tell
someone,
he handmade that.
Yeah.
Just, like you said, hours and hours of work into it. For
deep
sure.
cut for listeners. I saw someone on Sunday come as one of the Haynes sisters from White Christmas during their sister song. I thought that was just
really.
She looked just like Julia Haynes, I think it is. I was just like, I told her, like, Joey, it's like Joey wouldn't know who that is. So, and maybe a lot of people won't know that, but go watch White Christmas. And I was like trying to look for her again because like do you just go as one of the characters when really like the whole thing is go as the sisters? Like where's the other person that came with her? But
wait, so it's just one of them? Like she didn't.
I only saw one, so I didn't see.
Okay.
And there it's like a giant blue dress and like has like a big feather fan or peacock fan that's also blue. So it's like they're hard to miss. It just thought it was weird that like maybe she was meeting up with somebody that was like the other sister. So So big fan of that.
They had a bunch of cosplayers there, which was awesome. Like they had a bunch like along that artist alley or whatever. There was like, I don't know, 6 or 7 booths that were all just like cosplay people.
And I'm blanking the Star Wars, the droid and the one of the cosplayers.
Oh yeah, Chopper. There's a big Chopper.
And then
where
like we made the joke like, oh, how you letting this mass murderer in here? That was just great.
Right. I think I asked him like, how many war crimes have you committed today, Chopper?
So with that, before I go into my haul and all the stuff I purchased, I'm thinking next year, even if we have a booth or we walk around, I'm either thinking we do our Crusaders. Yep, Max can be our leader, or we can go as like Monty Python, Holy Grail people. I think that'd be fun. That'd be fun. Door to Crusaders. Or if I'm going to do my own thing, I might, because one of the booths I went to was to get a costume design. I want to go as Santa to the con next year. I think that'd be fun. And like hand out gifts. I think that I would love that.
That would be sweet though. That would
be Anyways, moving on.
Yeah, I had fun. You know what really impresses me about this con compared to I've been to the Chicago con twice and I've also been to a couple little pop-ups in other places, but this has been more substantial. And according to you guys, it's grown from this year to last year, which was really
Quite a bit.
exciting.
Mhm.
I thought the lineup of people you could meet was really impressive. We didn't get to really meet anybody, and I was hanging out mostly with you guys, but Giancarlo Esposito, seeing him there, Amy Jo Johnson on Saturday, that's a pretty cool lineup. I know Brendan Fraser was there too. So that's pretty cool and exciting. And I love the Pokemon stuff, man. The Pokemon booths were there and ready to roll, and they had the right stuff available. So I appreciated that. Also, just an aside for the fans of our show, I don't know if anybody's more excited to be at a con than Mark Jones. Like I just like being at Comic-Con with Mark. Like that's just kind of it.
Watching Mark at a Comic-Con is like kind of entertaining in itself. Like he's just going from booth to booth, like chatting with, the shop owners, like just soaking it up. It's pretty great.
Well, that's talking about that. Some of the stuff I got was and that's the other thing. I'm horrible with names. You might remember him, the guy that I bought like his whole first set with like signed stuff from like people who like did art for Magic the Gathering or did art for Attack on Titan. Those are the two I got, but he had other artists do stuff. It's like just talking to him and be like, hey, yeah, here's a deal. And I ended up going there because I saw a comic I'd been looking for in the wild, and it was there at a really good price, and it was signed by the artist. So he had that just on his like regular thing. And then like his dad, who was his salesman, was like, yeah, I'll talk to your son. And then talking to him and talking about the whole, it's great. Great stuff. I'm with you on that.
So that was Jared Bertemeyer.
There you go.
And he writes the Eden Sky comics.
Yes, Eden Sky is what I got the
which
first
is
6
what
issues.
Mark picked up. And
Great dude.
Issue of that.
Really great guy to meet.
Yeah.
Their booth was fantastic. One of the more high quality booths there.
Yeah. And he had original art like framed where it's like, I wish I had like the money to like, granted I did buy a lot of stuff, but like just get a big art.
You still
piece
bought
like,
like all of the, did you get the variant issues that he
well,
had?
that's because that was his thing. That's like, because you talk to these people and then all of a sudden and maybe it's their scheme to get you to buy stuff and they'll give you a discount. But anyways, he was like, here's some variants that are signed and then I'll sign them. I'm like, oh, absolutely. Here's my money. And I thought I got a fair price for all that stuff too. Cause it's like, and that's the thing, this is what it's called, Max. I'm not trying to be gross. They're virgin cover. So there's no title on it. There's no scan code. So it's pure, just like art on it. And that's what I love. So it's like those,
right?
So I'm kind of wishing I hope I can find it online to read them more. Cause I kind of don't want to touch those and just get them sealed, like impressed. True. So
that's true. Yeah. I wonder if he does have them available, like as digital comics.
And he also had like, actual books, not comic books to get to. So,
right. Yeah.
He had a lot of stuff going on.
I think he said that he wrote the comic book, but he
had like multiple
novelization of
he had
it
a few hands in the writing of the novels.
Yeah, right. Yep. And then, like you mentioned previously, tons of different really awesome artists from Magic the Gathering and other areas of nerddom. So It was pretty cool.
I thought the Imaginarium in Omaha, they had these boxes you pay $20 and you wouldn't know what you got. I got this Kirby box. Pretty slick t-shirt, awesome stickers, and a great plush out of it too. You can check out our Instagram page to see that too. I had a blast. It was so much fun. It was so much fun.
Yeah, it was awesome to just walk around with you guys and just like experience it for sure. So I think booth would be sweet. So we'll see how it all shakes out. See if we can again rope Robbie into headlining for us. So
going back to like if you were on the hunt for Magic the Gathering or Pokemon, more so Pokemon, you definitely could have found some of the products you're looking for.
Oh yeah, for sure. Pokemon.
There are bigger cons that probably could get that, but like this isn't just like a sleep on it con. Like they do a pretty good job of having vendors there.
And like Max said, it was significantly bigger than it was last year. And last year they said they had like 35 to 40,000 through the whole weekend. So it'll be interesting to hear the numbers, when those come out. But
and the first year we went was in such a smaller venue.
Yeah, right. It was
it is very
much
fun
smaller area. And Mark, you didn't go to the Minnesota Con. That was the one that was in the summer. It was kind of like, I would say, very comparable to the first year of Twin Cities Con, pretty small. And I'm like, man, it would have been fun to have 2 cons to go to through the year. I'm really bummed that one.
We could make a trip up to the Fargo one, the Galaxy Con.
That's true.
And I think that might be the other one maybe we go to, because that one's gotten bigger and that one's been going on a little bit longer. So
all right.
That might be a fun one, especially stay locally. I know there's one in St. Cloud, but it's kind of more like a walk around in the mall. It's not a traditional con, but.
Gotcha. Yeah. Oh yeah, right. I've only been to Twin Cities Con in Minnesota.
I went to that one with Robbie, and that's
interesting.
In the Lego movie, there's a character that all he wants to do is build a spaceship. That is Mark when it comes to attending cons. Like,
Gods,
it's like
gods.
a Tuesday, and Mark's just like, "Can we go to a con?" I'm like, "Mark, it's a Tuesday. We have work. Like, we can't do."
I mean,
this.
if you would have invited him to the cat con, he probably would have.
I would have considered.
I like
that.
my mom
Actually, if
invited me
Max
to
would have invited everyone from the group, I'm sure more than me and other people. Joey for sure would have shown up.
Well, here's the problem with the cat con.
fourth
It was
con.
it was the cat like judging thing. So you can't pet any of the critters, and all the toys they have
I
are
can't
like
go and pet all the
crazy
Pokemon
cat
cards I
people.
want or people. So like I assume the same thing with the cat con.
My bad. I didn't realize that you didn't want to pet them. I apologize.
Having said that, if I was talking to Robbie about this, if I get into a good spot with the new businesses I'm going to start up, that would literally be an expense for my business. Is like I can go to a few cons a year and just try to build product or get capital or whatever. So
I want your business to thrive just for that.
Yeah. Hey guys, who wants to come to the con with me?
Isaac's crying.
I need
documenting
a handler.
that journey the whole time. That'd be great.
It would be great. That's literally, I think, what we'd all love if we all could make a living off of that.
Okay, so I actually have another story about the con, though. So we went back on Sunday. Mark and Joey had already
we got there too early, and then it was like, do we wait an hour and a half for Isaac and family?
No, I told you, don't wait around for us, because I had the whole family with. So we were going to be poking around because Liv is 2 years old, and I knew it was going to be slow moving, and it was. Like, we probably made it maybe a quarter of the way through the whole area, but it was super fun to go with the kids. They all loved it. Pokemon stuff was kind of their jam, but we made it to a booth that had an author that was selling like fantasy books, and Holly's been really into like fantasy books and reading and stuff like that recently. So, and you guys know Holly, Infinity Bros listeners. My wife is a very personable person, and she is very compassionate and loves to visit with people. And, I would even say that she maybe doesn't like to visit with people, but she opens it up. She will ask you questions, and she's a great conversationalist. So my wife is getting suckered into this author's fantasy books, and I'm like trying to like move the kids along, because I'm like, I know that she's probably going to buy at least one book already. She's already going to get suckered into it. She can't say no. So I'm like trying to move the kids along, maybe give her the idea that she shouldn't buy all those. We're like 2 or 3 booths down. She calls me back, and she pulled just one of the nastiest things. She was just like, this author lady was like, "Oh, you need to get your wife these books." And Holly did not say a word. She just looked at me. And I was like, okay, all right then, I guess I'm getting the book. And I was thinking, she had a series of 3 books. Yeah. And I was thinking, let's get the first one, like,
no,
if you like it, we can buy the other ones later, No, this author proceeds to coax Holly into buying the whole series, which, local books, whatever, fine, great. I relented, and I was like, great, you got some more books to read. Awesome. We get home, and she starts reading it, and one of the main characters in the first book is a cat, and she reads the first 3 chapters, and she texted me when I was at work that night, and she was like, I can't do this anymore. And I was like, what does that mean? What do you mean you can't do this anymore? Apparently half of the 3 chapters that she read was just a cat meowing the whole time. And she was like, no, I don't know if I could read the rest of this. And I was like, wait, you just bought 3 books at this con, and you're telling me you can't read the rest of this right now?
It's time for her to send these over to my wife now. That's like my wife.
Literally what I was about to suggest, though. I was like, hey, you know what? Like, if Holly is done with these books, I'm sure Sarah would love to read them. So
Sarah's upstairs reading a book right now. She just reads books every day.
I did like convince her, like, hey, just like keep reading, give it a chance. She's most of the way through the first book now, though, and she said it got much better after the first couple chapters. So
I will
not
say
quite as many cats meowing
with the con, because this is Sunday also happened to me. If you're one of those persons that, like, I don't know why, this is my curse with people. They're like, that's a talkable guy. And I'm like, no, I'm not. And I'll get like pulled in, and then I feel like I have to talk to them.
No, but you are a talkable guy. Because like when we went there, you talk to everybody.
But like mentally right away, I'm like, oh, Frank, I'm going to have to buy something. Blessing and surprise with the first guy on Friday.
Buy everything you see there.
Well, yeah. And I was going to say that guy that, like we probably wouldn't have even seen that Venom helmet unless we talked to that guy.
Yes.
Like,
that was another, I bought a Venom helmet. a Shut Venom helmet that was signed by
Sweet.
Stan Lee. It worked out. I bought it for less than what he was wanted it for. But I was going back, so like on Sunday, same thing. A booth got me. He's selling comics, and I like heard his shtick, and also wearing the press pass. Like those people want to talk to us,
Right?
And I'm like, I'm the wrong guy to talk to. Isaac's the guy to talk to. I'm the muscle. He's everything else.
I should just get like one of my little Infinity Bros cards and flip it over.
Having said that, I did get 3 comics from the guy for like $20, and he signed them, and I'm like,
that's not bad, right?
And like those I'll read. So like that's the other thing. I'm not gonna like buy your stuff and not read it.
Yeah,
I will definitely try to present it as like it's a collectible, but yeah.
So maybe we'll do some reviews in the future of some of the stuff that we've hauled in from.
So beyond the plethora of Japanese Pokemon packs I bought and some singles, because I'm a sucker and love Japanese packs. Bought the Venom helmet. That was a big thing. Those comics. And I even told Joey, 5th reference to Joey, I wasn't gonna buy any comics at this con. I bought like 7. But I bought.
Dude, you were buying things left and right. You looked like Lloyd Christmas from Dumb and Dumber.
Max, you should have seen Mark at the first con.
The first con was real bad.
He spent like over $1,000 at that con.
That's
like
crazy,
it was insane,
crazy.
and it was mostly artwork. It
was a lot of artwork.
It was a lot of artwork, but still, like he was just like every booth. He was like grabbing something.
I'll bring it back, Max. I don't know if I showed you this one, but I bought a graded. Actually, no, we're live. We're not on the Patreon. I'm sorry. But I bought a graded Galactus card that you would love. Yeah.
Dude, that looks sick. I know. I saw
and I think you saw that one too, but I didn't buy it until Sunday because I was like, I didn't know which one I wanted to get.
The problem, Mark, is I think all the stuff you have is cool. I just can't buy it.
Right.
That's like my problem. I'm like, I can't justify buying this. I'm vicariously living through you. That's what I'm doing.
We all are.
Well, and this is the thing too. It's like all of a sudden, when Evolving Skies was out, no one was buying it, so I'm buying it really cheap, and then I put it in a box, and then I unpack it. I was like, oh, I have so much Evolving Sky. Oh my gosh, I should sell that. A few mortgage payments.
There you go.
It's great stuff. Con's great. The Minnesota Con's great. Twin Cities Con.
Yeah. Love
it. I hope it never goes away. I hope it keeps getting bigger.
I don't think it will. I think this, from what I saw, I think it's going to be here to stay.
Yeah. And I will say too, I mean, and you can speak to this a little bit more, Mark, because you were there like right away on both days, right?
Yep.
You were there. Like,
we got there right before it opened.
I felt like it went a lot smoother than last year too.
Yes.
Like their security lines weren't long. Like we walked in pretty much every single time I went.
And having talked to one of the people, it sounded like who had worked there last year, it was just kind of just better handled. Like they learned from their mistakes last year.
Right. Yeah.
So and that's another thing that I would say the Twin Cities Con has been good. The people they get to help out, people in charge, people who, do the work, great stuff. And that's, sometimes that type of work can be very strenuous and you don't get the praise that's deserved because you deal with usually the bad people. But I say
it's a lot of work for not much return, honestly.
Well, usually a lot of them are volunteers.
Most of the people working it are volunteers for sure. Yeah, great con though.
And I would say Sunday's definitely a family vibe. Like if you wanted to pick a day to go Sunday morning, go with your family. It's a little bit quieter. Less. More people are out Saturday night. And then if you're lucky enough, there's a football game going on in the city, so that it's a little bit quieter there too. So, but True. Saturday it's packed. That's where the big point with us is like,
and that's
Friday and Sunday.
We've gone on Saturday every year, and it's always packed. Like it's always like shoulder to shoulder walking through the aisles, like trying to squeeze by everybody, looking at all the stuff. So Friday and Sunday, were like the perfect days to go. And can confirm that it was a great family day with my family on Sunday. So it was perfect. It was great. That's it. Twin Cities Con, 6 out of 6. It was awesome.
We'll be there next year, and Max will be our leader for the crusade. Remarkably Santa. It's Max's choice at this point.
All right, guys. New segment in the podcast. So we've had our trailers, movie trailers, TV show trailers, kind of just interjected, usually into nerd news. But I was like, you know what? We talk about enough trailers that we should make our own segment for this podcast. So our new segment is the preview portal. I can hear it. The portal's here. Portal Master, where is it?
It's right there.
Prepare to enter the preview portal on the Infinity Bros podcast.
Let's dive in.
Just insanity. Like when I saw, glad we're doing it. Glad.
And Max is the master of portals, so it's great that we're debuting this segment on with him present. So can't wait.
Context for other people: I've gone to multiple weddings now where people have claimed there's a portal at the wedding,
this is the portal master.
This is like bitception here going on. It's just like
In all fairness, Max never had to disclose that to us because none of the group was at these weddings. He could have kept that a dark secret in his mind forever.
Well, it's not
He
like
was
it's
so
a dark secret.
flabbergasted at the first one that he was just like,
I think all of us were a little flabbergasted.
They were
at the
back-to-back
first one.
weddings, weren't they, too?
Well,
Like,
we
it
were,
wasn't-
but then,
They were back-to-back
there was a
weddings.
second one. Like that's that insane. That's wild.
Yeah, the first one was wild, but to go to a second wedding and hear somebody in passing say, "Yeah, there's a portal over there," when there's just nothing, is something else.
Absolutely wild. So, anyways, we have our Portal Master Max with us, and we're going to be previewing a few things that number one is coming next year, and then the second one is coming in just a couple weeks. So, the first thing that we're going to talk about is Super Mario Galaxy. This trailer just dropped this week, and it looks great. It's set to come out April 2026. What did you guys think of Super Mario Galaxy?
I actually loved it. I'm all in. I loved the first movie, and then I loved it more when I watched it with my oldest daughter, and she was like enamored with it. So I'm kind of pumped for this. I'm really excited to see where they go. Who do you think shows up first? Sonic the Hedgehog or Spider-Man from Into the Spider-Verse? That's the kind of vibe I got with that movie, but I'm excited for it.
We're getting a multiverse with
well, isn't that the whole thing that they're going to do? They're going to do a Super Smash Brothers movie at some point.
That's how this feels, right?
It will
headed that way.
Right. It will end up with a Super Smash Bros. Movie at some point. And, we already got, Donkey Kong and several other characters,
Sonic.
Nintendo related.
Technically, we already have Pokemon out. There's a Zelda movie coming out, next year or the year after? So,
yeah,
it's inevitable.
It's going to happen. I'm
going to give it a 5 out of 6. I liked it. My kids would give it a 6 out of 6. Kind of confused at the whole, I know Bowser's small, but not a fan of that. I would have liked to have seen something a little different than that. I love the Brie Larson playing Rosalina though bit because of her passion for Super Mario in particular over COVID. She was known for getting frustrated with her boyfriend for not letting her complete Super Mario Galaxy. So for her being in this movie, I would imagine for her is a dream come true. I think she's great. Love the cast. I'm excited about this movie. I think it's going to be I applaud them for this idea. The first one was well written. But Mark and Isaac, you're nailing it. This ends with a Super Smash Brothers movie at some point.
You think there has to be a tease with this one?
I think at the end of this, we might.
Because also we're supposed to get Yoshi, because that was kind of the ending of
that was the tease for the first one.
Yeah.
We'll get Yoshi. I mean, obviously we saw in the trailer that we're getting Rosalina.
And also, coming back to this, it made me think where Max is upset about Bowser being small right away. What, you want them to Justice League this movie and be like, show us Doomsday right away? No, let's see Bowser get big in the movie. I don't need to see in the trailer.
It's just more of a kind of a morbid question I have of the small mushrooms make you small for a small period of time.
Yeah, they clearly force feeding him.
They
clearly are force feeding him that, or they're sprinkling in the food they feed him. They have to, because we got a little bit in the trailer where his voice is very squeaky, and then when he got mad, it started getting more Jack Blacky. So
yeah, you're thinking what I'm thinking. So if that's
clearly
the case,
he's a prisoner of war. That's what Bowser is.
Yeah, that's a little weird to me.
He's a POW. He's being tortured, keeping him small. And they built a castle just for him too. A little miniature castle.
They did.
Apparently, him and Luigi are buds.
Yeah, that's what I thought was funny. Clearly, they have some relationship that they're like, yeah, we're cool. And then screw you, Mario. Here's my middle finger.
And it appears they're doing because Mario and Peach were just friends in the first one, so it appears they're going to make that more of a love interest. And we'll see. How
with the portrait that he painted, Mario was impressed. Yeah,
Chad Bowser.
Bowser Jr. was cool.
Yeah, Bowser Jr. coming to rescue his dad, going to space for some reason.
It's Mario Galaxy.
Mark, it's November 13th. We're recording. End of this movie teases Super Smash Brothers. Who is the character they tease for Super Smash Brothers?
I imagine the easy one's Sonic. You just tease Sonic being in this because he's the multiversal creature.
Disagree.
That or Zelda. That'd be or
Pikachu.
Link. Pikachu.
Well, Pikachu would be a good one. I was thinking Kirby.
Or the hand. The hand plucks them out.
Oh, that's Super Smash Bros. Movie. It probably has to be the hand. You're probably right. Because you could tease Pikachu, you could tease Kirby.
They're gonna do Battle World before Battle World does Battle World.
I'm gonna be transparent with you guys. If Sora is at the end of this game,
oh my gosh!
Can you imagine? We're not doing a Super Smash Brothers. We're doing whatever
Hearts
Max
movie.
likes.
Kingdom Hearts.
I'm like, why am I
doing a Kingdom Hearts movie?
We're doing a Kingdom Hearts movie. Winnie the Pooh is the secret thing of the galaxy.
Max just stands up, starts screaming. All the children in the theater.
I'm the
just
only
around.
person screaming in the movie theater.
Jinx, it's a Lorcana movie.
Wild.
That would be wild.
But the
Yeah, I thought
trailer's
it was
just
fun.
fine.
It's fine.
Like Super Mario Bros. Was a fun movie, and I wouldn't say it's like a masterpiece or anything. It was fun. It was great. Kids loved it. I feel like this is going to be a great follow up to It's a great kids movie. It's going to be.
They're going to make so much money off this movie.
It's $1 billion movie. Easy.
This is an easy
worldwide,
easy
maybe $2 billion. Do I say 3?
No,
you don't.
I think we're good at 2.
Okay.
I think we're fine.
Yeah, settle down, Mark. We're saving that for the Kingdom Hearts movie.
Yeah, thank you. Also, just for clarity, I hated Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong. Did not like that in the first movie. Just want to make that clear.
Yeah. What do you think about Chris Pratt's Mario?
I think it's fine. I don't love it, but I don't hate it. I will say this: Fred Armisen is Cranky Kong, hilarious. So great I just the Seth Rogen thing where he's just playing himself.
It's Chris Pratt. Like, was he just at the peak of his career that he became all of the voice acting characters? I don't understand.
No, we came into a market where instead of getting voice actors to sound like the characters, it was actually more marketable to get famous people to do them.
Right.
And I wouldn't say he's doing a bad job, but
I think it worked.
It works.
I think
it
worked.
It obviously
made
worked
money
for
with
the franchise. Like they made a
agree.
buttload of money. Yeah. So the other one that I was confused about, and my kids actually like this one, is the Garfield movie. He's Garfield, and I'm like,
oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that was a little weird.
Like why Garfield?
But he's great in the Lego movie. He's really good in the Lego movie.
He's perfect in the Lego movie. I will say that's a perfect casting.
Have you seen a show called Parks and Rec? That's a pretty good show. You got time. You could watch that.
Yeah, he's all right. He's all right in that. Super Mario Bros. Galaxy, great. April 2026 is when it's coming out. 2026 is going to be a big year for both movies and TV. There's a lot of stuff coming out next year. Doomsday, that's going to be wild. Next thing we're talking about is the thing that I kind of expect us to talk about for a little bit here is Stranger Things Season 5. The trailer dropped 2 weeks ago, I believe. And then they actually this week just dropped the first 5 minutes of, I believe, the first episode, or they dropped a 5-minute clip of something. So, yeah, I mean, it's coming out November 26th. It's kind of a weird schedule. I think it's like 5 episodes on the 26th, 3 episodes on Christmas, and then the finale on New Year's. So kind of a funky release schedule, but they're doing it probably to build up the hype. I guess if you're doing that, like, why don't you do that over more than 2 months? Like if you're breaking it up, I don't know. I
don't even care. Thing. Netflix, just give us the freaking final season.
Yeah.
It's been 10 years. I'm going to be, this is so hyped that even if the littlest thing's bad, we're going to be mad about it. So that's how I feel about this show.
And to your credit, Mark, it's risky. Because because they're doing it in volumes, doing volume 1, volume 2, then the series finale, which is like 8 hours long, I guess.
You got time. It's Christmas break.
Yeah. We all know if you're not in retail, you're working, or you're not working. Excuse me. I really think if volume 1 is a flop, which based on last season, I just don't anticipate that being the case, then you've got a real problem on your hands. But something tells me they know they're in good shape because they wouldn't release it that way. I just think they understand what they have. I'm in a minority here. I've been fine with the wait. The only problem has been the one joke is that they're all basically adults now. Right. Whatever.
They are all adults. Some of them have been married and have children.
I made a video about that today though. Like I looked up all the ages. They're all like 21 to 24. It's not like they're 30 or anything. Like that. Right. Hollywood,
we did have Tobey Maguire play Spider-Man, and he was 27.
He was like 27, wasn't he? Yeah.
So exactly. I mean, I don't care about that aspect. I get the whole acting. It's just like 10 years, and you're gonna
make us. See, that's my problem too. Is that it's been spread out over 10 years. Like
that's how I feel about it.
You got to cut that down a little bit. Like
that's been obnoxious, but also this is Netflix's thing. If Netflix is known for one thing, it's Stranger Things.
Yeah, and they're trying to milk this as much as they want because they got nothing after this.
They don't.
They got to figure out their next Stranger Things because for a while they were banging out shows and then just kind of dropped off with the bangers.
They probably, I mean, they were going with the like go big or go home route. I don't know, probably about the same time Stranger Things came on, and Stranger Things hit it, but like so many of the other shows just kind of
I would
fell
say
flat.
You had House of Cards, Orange is the New Black, Stranger Things. I feel like those were all cultural phenomenon things.
Black Mirror.
Yeah, well, that
Black
one's
Mirror. Yeah.
a little different there.
And Squid Game.
Squid Game too. But I think what they're noticing now, like in the beginning, that was hot. You get all your episodes, you watch it all, and then it just,
Right.
you know,
It
like
dies off
like a
after
balloon
everybody
being,
makes
you
that
know, letting the air
initial
out.
viewing.
Where they're
Right.
learning, you keep the viewers talking, and we're coming back to this, oddly enough, appointment TV. Here's the shows that are going to be out at this time.
Yeah.
With somebody watch it, and then you talk about it for a week. And it's just like what we did with the Disney Plus shows. There is a good market ploy for that, and also keeps people locked in, paying your product for at least 2 months. So like, there's an economic side to it. So like, I get that. But as a consumer of Netflix, it's like you're kind of breaking your mold, and that's what gets people mad. So
Well, I think the other part too, and the reason why I'm not concerned because I trust the Duffer Brothers.
Right.
However,
the show's going to be great. I'm not saying it's not going to.
I know, but what I'm saying is Squid Game did not end well, in my opinion. I thought the ending fell flat.
But that's one where the first one came out where he put a lot of time in. All of a sudden, now we got to speed up, and he's a lot older, and you have to explain that story a little bit differently. Is my opinion.
And they broke that one up too, Mark. Is what I'm saying. Yeah. So to me, I was at the time I was like, well, this is probably a good thing that they broke it up. I think the Duffer Brothers are a little different than Squid Game because the first season was just supposed to be its own season and nothing else. I think there's a plan, and I trust the plan. But it'll be interesting if it is a flop. People will be devastated. Like, this is going to be way worse than if Squid Game's bad.
And if you went to any retail store over Halloween, they are marketing this with products hard.
Oh, yes, they are.
And so we're just going to get more before Christmas, too. So
as they should, because Stranger Things, like, I mean,
people
I know we had, like, I think season 3 was, like, kind of the summer vibe season. But, like, I mean, every season they've been, like, Halloween is, like, their jam. Like, that's when Stranger Things is popular, you know, and it makes sense because it's kind of like, I was talking to somebody about this the other day. Stranger Things is a great, like, intro to horror, that genre. It's like right on the edge where it's like scary. It's not too scary. Like, you know, younger audience can really watch this because it's not super gory or anything like that. It's like a
cerebral monster show.
Yeah, right.
Boil it down to what the...
So there's a wide audience for this. It's a great gateway to that, like, genre. I mean, it can appeal to a lot of different people. So they're pushing it to, I mean, everybody they can, which they should.
I expect this season to have answers to the question of why Will Byers was taken. Obviously, the first 5 minutes allude to this. If you've watched that, I won't get into details for those that don't want to hear.
Do the other superheroes show up?
The island will disappear, and Grey's Anatomy will continue after
Who gets
this
plucked
season.
to Battle World from this group?
Yeah, I just want to say this too. I am curious to see how they beat Vecna because the way the last season ended, when you write yourself into a corner, it felt like they wrote themselves into a corner there. And based off the preview and based off what I'm seeing, this is just a really difficult writing thing to do. And then you add the Will Byers thing. And then I'm excited. I think it's going to be great.
The Angel Gabriel will come and save the day.
They will break bad.
Multiverse of all.
Mm-hmm. They will break bad.
Multiverses. So I went and started rewatching. I made it through season 1 this week, and I'm on to season 2. And I'm not to the episode yet, but I think it was the very first episode of season 2, they had like the 5-minute intro or whatever before the title card was the Pennsylvania like group that 11 gets a part of. And I'm like, man, I totally forgot about that because
That's
it is totally not essential to the story at all.
Do any of those characters show up? It was like they were like, this is a bad storyline. We're just gonna let this die in the vine.
We're just gonna let this go.
Like, I would assume, does Venka go to them and consume their power? Like, is that how he gets more powerful? Like,
maybe, yeah.
I'm gonna be bold and say they do get used. I think the Duffer Brothers.
I think that's where I'm going back to the Duffer Brothers. Where I feel like they're gonna tie the nice bow on every little character. So everyone knows there are no loose ends. And if they do leave loose ends,
honestly, I'm rewatching again about halfway through season 2. I don't see any flaws up until that point, and I don't remember any flaws in 3 and 4 either. Like, I loved this whole show. This whole series has been fantastic. So I would be very interested to see if they try to complete that storyline, or they're just like, you know what, that was a miss, we're just going to leave that in the past.
The other part is and you mentioned this too, Mark, they really have wrapped up every plot line with a bow. The way they introduced Vecna was just unbelievable. That first episode when he's crunching characters, you're terrified of him. And then at the end of that volume 1 ending, you remember they broke that season up too, the way they're doing it this year. It was revealed that essentially 11 created him, right? So I think, forgive the spoilers if you've never seen it, I just think they're going to do it. I think part of the thing with the 10 years, you are allowed to take 10 years to finish this story. If you flop, though, that's why I think this is just a way bigger deal if they flop. That's all I'm saying. They have taken way too much time at this juncture to get to this point. Yeah. If you flop with all that time,
I would be shocked if they flop, though. Like, this show has been too good through the first 4 seasons to...
I would not based off Squid Game. I thought Squid Game was impossible to flop, and they did. So
I don't know, though. Squid Game, like, I didn't even watch season 2 because after the first season, I was like, what are you gonna do? Like, I don't really get why they continued that. And maybe I should watch season 2 to find out. But after season 1, I was like, what the heck? Like, what are we doing here? Like, it was great. Don't get me wrong. Season 1 was fantastic. But it was kind of, I don't know. To me, it felt like a 1-season type of show. Stranger Things, I mean, and I assume that they've had, this whole series written for quite a while now. I don't think they've been writing it as they go because it seems too well written for it to be that type of show. So I'm pretty confident that this is going to end well, but we'll see. Who knows? What are you guys' hype coming into it? I mean, I know Max and I have been pretty excited about it. Mark, are you just petered out on Stranger Things at this point?
I am excited to see it.
Okay.
I do want to see you guys know me, I'm a completionist with series. Even if series goes bad, I need to just finish it all just to see if it gets any better. This one, I'm more frustrated, like the time it took and then they're breaking it up. But I'm sure I'm going to get my socks rocked off. I'm sure it's going to be fun to watch. I also want to get back and rewatch it so that I'm kind of like fresh with all the content versus like watching one episode and then being like, I need to rewatch everything. So
I'm in the opposite camp. Usually I rewatch everything and I'm not afraid to quit something. Mark knows this. I will not.
You are afraid to start stuff though.
Oh yeah. I'm not watching Righteous Gemstones. I'm not going to rewatch. I think there's too much density with it. I've rewatched it many times. I know what's coming. I've been waiting for a long time for this. I'm ready. Like, I could watch it right now and be ready to go.
I think I'm in the middle on this. Like, I'm not a rewatcher normally. I don't really rewatch a lot of stuff unless it was so good that I'm like, holy crap, I need to rewatch that again. I was not intending to rewatch it, but then I was like, man, I haven't seen season 1 since it came out 10 years ago. Like, I think I need to rewatch this. So I started it kind of intending to maybe just finish season 1. And I already finished season 1 and, almost halfway through season 2. And I'm like, maybe I can get this whole thing done.
That's how good the show is.
That's right. Exactly. It's easy to binge. And now that I'm like, when I went straight from season 1 to season 2, I was like, holy crap. Like, I had to wait a year or two or whatever it was to find out what happened after season 1. Like, that kind of blew my mind a little bit when I started season 2. I was like, dang. So now I can just binge through this whole thing and kind of get a bigger picture of the whole storyline instead of, just the season story beats. So I'm kind of excited. Hopefully I can make it all the way through season 4. And season 4 obviously would be the most fresh anyway. So if I don't make it through season 4, it's not the worst thing in the world. But it was kind of mind blowing to go back and rewatch season 1. And I'm glad I did. All right. So that is our preview Portals segment. Thank you, Portal Master Max, for leading us through the dangerous portal. I think we all came out in one piece. Next thing we're going to do is talk about Pluribus. Pluribus, new series on Apple TV. In a world overtaken by a mysterious wave of forced happiness, Carol Sturka, the only person immune, must uncover what's really going on and save humanity from its own bliss. Creator Vince Gilligan, who many of you may recognize as the creator of Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, stars Rhea Seehorn as the main character, who also starred in Better Call Saul as well. And it's a crazy series that is 2 episodes out on Apple TV and has a weekly release, which by the time this podcast episode airs, there'll probably be the 3rd episode out as well. So, guys, we're going to get into it a little bit, but I do want to give a spoiler warning ahead of time. If you have not watched Pluribus, this is your official spoiler warning for the first 2 episodes.
This is...
Prepare yourself.
An Infinity Bros.
Prepare yourself.
Spoiler Warning.
I want to give that first because I know we like to sometimes give like a little recap, non-spoiler recap, but like I feel like that's hard with the first couple episodes. So maybe when we get to like the movies or when we get to the finale, we'll keep doing that in the kind of non-spoiler segment and recap of our thoughts and stuff like that. But want to get that out of the way before we start this, just in case. And I know Mark is horrible at giving non-spoiler reviews and ends up spoiling everything. So did that for Mark's sake more than anybody
That's
else's.
so spot on.
Every time I give a non-spoiler review, I'm always like, I should say something because Mark is telling us what happens. But I just let him go because it's Mark. You can't contain Mark.
No doubt.
All right. So, guys, Pluribus, first 2 episodes are out. Thoughts on this wacky, wild sci-fi thriller so far through 2 episodes? I would say let's even start with episode 1. We'll talk a little bit about season 2, but like what led you to watch this show? I'm going to go with you, Max, first, since you're kind of the instigator of us watching this show. What led you to watch this show, and what are your thoughts through episode 1?
I liked Breaking Bad. I have never watched Better Call Saul, and I know people love that show, and I think someday I'll watch it when I have the mental capacity to do so. So I trust Vince Gilligan. I think he's a great storyteller. And I also know that we talked about this pre-show. Apple is doing special things right now. This is their golden era where Netflix had the Stranger Things and the Squid Games, and where MGM has From right now, and where just certain platforms have their specific shows. I just trust Apple right now with Severance, with the morning show. And this trailer's always looked fascinating to me. I've always been interested by the idea of what happens when you have one angry person in a world full of happy people. And this first episode was terrifying to me. This was Invasion of the Body Snatchers, in my opinion. Meets that Rick and Morty episode where he has a relationship with the hive mind.
The Unimind.
And it's just a fascinating story. I have some concerns about the show that I'll talk about a little later. But for the first episode, I'm very encouraged. I just think it's a strong pilot. I think Lost is the only other pilot I can kind of compare it to. Maybe the Stranger Things pilot. We talked about that too. Like there's just a couple pilots that I think are like that strong where it makes me want to watch the next episode. This is one of them. I think it's very well written. I think it is an interesting way of looking at zombie apocalypse or just apocalypse in general. And I think if you are someone that enjoys that genre, this is going to be exciting for you. I also think if you're someone who liked Breaking Bad or Better Call Saul, I feel confident saying this is a show for you. And clearly, Rhea Seehorn is a tremendous actress. She's playing Carol very well. Yeah, I'm excited. I have one major concern I'll talk about in a bit, but I'm excited about this show. I'm looking forward to episode 3.
Anytime you say that this show is amazing or fantastic or whatever, I pretty much can guarantee that it's going to be good, because I feel like you only say that about like 5% of the stuff that you consume. Like you're probably one of the most harsh critics on the Infinity Bros podcast, if I'm being completely honest. So
I want my rating to be pure. No, it really is. I mean, there's just a lot of shows right now, and in my life, I just don't have a ton of time to consume a lot. So when something clicks and I want to watch it again, that's really encouraging to me. And yeah, this is one of those shows.
Again, I mentioned that like I'd been seeing previews or like reviews of it and stuff like that, and I was like, it looks pretty good. It's Apple TV again, so it's great. Once Max said it, that kind of confirmed it for me. I was like, all right, I got to check this out. And that first episode, like you said, it's a great pilot. And I know Mark, you and maybe I, to an extent, are kind of more the completionist and are a little bit more forgiving on shows, movies, and stuff like that. But you got to have some kind of hook in that first episode or 2 to get people to keep coming back and watching it. And I was hooked probably within 15 minutes of the first episode, pretty much right away. You go through the, kind of the mundane everyday Carol stuff, and then boom, it happens like very quickly. And almost immediately I'm like, holy crap. The vibes of the show feel very similar to Severance. I know it's a very different premise, but the vibes just feel so similar of like the stakes seem so high, you know, and I'm just like, man, I can't stop watching this. So I was really glad there was 2 episodes available right away, because I was like, I would have been itching for more immediately after that first episode, and I'm already itching for more, and the next episode doesn't come out till tomorrow. So yeah, it hooked me right away, and I'm glad it did, because I think I was looking for, you know, obviously Stranger Things is coming out in a couple weeks here, but like I feel like since the summer I've been looking for just a good solid TV show to keep me going. And we had Peacemaker that kind of was a little bit more, you know, like weekly watch, and I was excited for it. Once that ended, Gen V really didn't capture my attention this year. Like it was still solid, still really good, but I wasn't like, you know, just on the edge of my seat waiting for the next episode to come out. And this is going to be one of those shows for me. Every week I'm going to be like looking forward to watching this show on Fridays. So yeah, I'm very excited for it.
There's a movie called The Invasion that happens in 2005, 6, 7, somewhere in there. And it's got Nicole Kidman and I think James Bond, Daniel Craig. And that movie it's based off of Invasion of the Body Snatchers from Donald Sutherland. That movie is what I think this show was trying to do. I think that movie wanted to be what this show is doing, from the perspective of taking over people and making this freaky world where you're just alone. And this is just different than, like, you know, we've had The Walking Dead. We've had these types of shows. There's something menacing about everyone in the world. And we'll talk about the show in a bit. Sorry, Mark, I cut you off, but I just wanted to make that point.
Oh, first off, when you guys were sharing this, I was like, why is the show called Plumbus? That's what I really thought it was. It was like the Plumbus show. And I'm like, what's going on?
It's a Rick and Morty spin-off.
I know, that's what I thought it was.
Everyone has a Plumbus.
That's why. Anyways, so then yeah, but yeah, I went into this because all of you guys hyped it up, and I was like, well, again, I go back to this. If Max says it's great, then you know we're gonna love it. And I hate like giving Max that credit because he doesn't like a lot of stuff. But it's like
I also do not like giving Max that credit, but
like he doesn't watch content like you and I do. Like we just take it all in.
Mindless garbage.
Like Max just said, and I respect this. He is very selective what he watches. So I
am. Yeah,
I'll give you that. You already said it too, but that was my thought. Is like at the end of the show, I was like, this felt very much like the first time when I watched the pilot of Walking Dead when it came out. So like Halloween of like, I don't know, would that been 2010, 2011? So like that's how I felt. I was like, this is very much like, because that to me is like, I want more. And also like that, this is terrifying. This is like a real telling of like, it really felt grounded and real. But yeah, it's just, you know, you keep harping on the Invasion of the Body Snatchers and stuff like that, which is, it's pretty much on that, but it's more eerie that everyone's so calm about it. Where to me, it's like, I go back to, then you can go into the foil hat stuff of like, this goes back to the whole Unimind, the whole like, you're all together, we all ascend together type of thing. And that's more on the demonic side. So to me, it's like, is Vince going to go demonic with this? Because another series I thought about when I'm watching this, like, this kind of has an X-Files vibe. And I didn't know who wrote this.
You didn't know that he's an X-Files writer?
No, really? I knew that. I didn't know who wrote this show. I had no idea who wrote this show. Yeah. And I was like, oh, it's him. This show's going to be fantastic. And it in the second episode was great too. We really got into like that whole ploy of like, hey, I want to talk to other people that aren't affected by this. Anyway, 6 out of 6 for the show. I'll say that off the bat. We get to a point where it's just like, what is the purpose? Like, what is their plan once everyone's together? Like, what is it? Because we get it's supposed to be alien. Is it alien? I don't know. That's like the thing.
They say they're not alien. They say
right.
They're not.
So like, what is it? But like, and then also like the science. And I love this. We're like, how do you work? And they're like, it just does. And I'm like, yeah, I'll take that. I don't need a scientific explanation, but it's like literally like they're just like a Wi-Fi of like always connected.
Right.
So, and to me, what is
the crazy part to me about the show, and you mentioned it, is that it's scary, but there's no real imminent threat. Like there's not a monster that's waiting around a corner to kill you or anything.
And that's
like
the thing they talk about is like once they're infected, they talk about we don't kill anything.
Mm-hmm.
But they'll let the people who aren't affected kill people or people, but kill stuff. But like, what is that like? Like, I don't know, like mental thing of the whole high. There's so much you could deep dive into this and like, what is the purpose? This is when I watch the show, I was like, this is literally like hype level WandaVision stuff that we could just spread the weeds open and get in there. So
It's a Mark show.
So yeah, that's kind of my synopsis. I love it. So like that's. Are we in spoilers? I gotta be ground rule.
We're already in spoilers.
Okay,
Mark.
thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah,
I
we're in
already
spoilers.
gave the spoiler. Right.
What's fascinating about the first 120 minutes is it takes away all the ways I thought as a viewer the show is going.
Right.
It took away, okay, are they secretly trying to kill? No, we can't kill. It took away,
Well,
are
that's
they
what they say
aliens?
now.
No, they're not aliens. We'll
and that's
see.
what they say now too.
Also, it took away two more things. It took away one, I thought eventually we'll see other characters that aren't affected. The other characters that weren't affected were all in on it. And that was like,
that was a mind-blowing episode.
Very genius.
Sure.
Genius. Okay, let's take this back. We only saw the ones that could speak English. So there are
right,
ones
and
that
I'm sure those others will show up. And to be transparent, I don't buy it.
That come up too.
I don't buy it. There's more. I don't buy it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, they mentioned in that episode that we found another guy. Like there's definitely more, and
for sure.
And they specifically mention that guy. Like I feel like that guy is important. The 13th guy that they just
the one that's kind of like who's really taking advantage of this whole situation.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing too, where it's like some of the people are all very different age and culture wise, but like some of the people we got there with their people who aren't affected, like, hey, I want to be part of it because like they're all seem so sold on it, or like I'm still going to travel with my family. This is my kid. My kid's still the same. It's like, no, your kid. This is the part I find fascinating with this whole thing is like, yes, any person can fly that helicopter. Any person can
that's awesome.
And just by themselves because they're all connected. So you have the same intelligence for everything, which is fascinating. But then there's a little part in that dinner where I know she says it not Keen. She says Jesus Christ, and the handler's eyes like wide open. That really hit me. It's like, is that a sign, Vince, that this is more demonic? And this could be a broader
I didn't notice
scope of Christianity. So that's, I would be very interested if we go into if they're not aliens, but this is like a takeover from a demonic entity. Anyways, that's my big deep dive for that.
You're nailing it. The other thing is her having the ability to kill millions of them
because she freaks out.
Yeah. And so the rest of them are too scared to use their emotions. She's on the opposite end of the spectrum. She's just a mess. And she's killing millions of them every time she blows up at them. So this is the last thing I was going to say.
I'm not going to say that. She's not killing them. They're killing the host bodies because they can't handle that type of emotion.
Right. I find that interesting because, one, it gets rid of, you talked about a monster threat, Isaac. There's no monster. Carol is the monster of this show,
right?
Based on what we're seeing, which is again the brilliance of Vince Gilligan writing this.
If they weren't a monster and they weren't a threat, they wouldn't have infected everybody.
I agree. I'm just saying, compared to them, she is the monster. It's
and
this
that's why they trying to figure it out.
Well, and you talked about demonic. My mind went to individualism versus corporate gathering. And there is power in the individual, right? Like, and I think we live in a society that is very individualistic. Mm-hmm. And this is showcasing top to bottom the value of being united. But there's also this like spark of like, what does individualism really do?
But there's also another
lose
side
our creativity
of being united like that could also be on the other spectrum of not being good.
Exactly. You could be united under the wrong banner. And I'm looking forward to watching this explore that show. The one thing that I alluded to this earlier in my review is the one thing that makes me nervous is there's a movie called Soul that came out with Disney years ago. Jamie Foxx was in it.
Yep.
And I thought the concept was really, really smart. It was about the afterlife. It was about purpose, and it was about our passions. And to be fully transparent, the movie did not land for me because I thought the main character was just obnoxious and rude. Mm-hmm. And it's selfish. Not Jamie Foxx. He was just a selfish guy. And so I'm like, why is this guy cosmically different? He's just selfish. And the ending wasn't really there. And a lot of people praised the movie. And I think artistically and the idea is fascinating. I just think it didn't land the plane. I trust Vince Gilligan, but I have the same fear of this with the character of Carol. I did not walk away with any care for Carol.
Now, I don't think you're supposed to, though. I don't think you're supposed to care for Carol.
I recognize that. What I'm saying is
like he's doing what he wants to.
Yep. And Vince just got done making 2 shows about really, really bad guys. So I get that. What I'm more saying is if this character is going to be a savior, if this character is going to be quintessential to the plot of this story, I'm going to need more from her than the surprise that
Mhm.
she is a lesbian. I'm going to need more from her than the surprise that she doesn't really believe in the book she wrote. I'm going to need a little more than that. I love that they've stripped her down right out the gate.
Right.
That they've dropped her to nothing. I'm in on that, and there's a lot of great hero arcs that do that.
So
So
in
I
Carol's
trust
defense,
that.
though, I get where you're going with this, and I get your complaints. We get that in the first episode. We start getting a little bit in the second. But she seeks out to talk to them and wants privacy to be like, we need to
Yeah,
figure this out. So clearly, with all
that's
her
what I'm looking for. Yep.
vices, she's like, we have to do something. And she
Mhm.
might be found to be like, she's alone in that fight. Or like, maybe they're withholding the other people that are also unaffected. And for some reason they have to be freaking out, like, why are these people not affected? Because ultimately they're a threat to the hive. So
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they will do this. But this is a threat that the movie Soul had. Soul had this amazing concept, beautiful art. There's scenes in the movie I still remember that I appreciate, and it's a Pixar movie, right? They really do a great job. My dilemma was the main character, and I
Sure.
think this is different because in Breaking Bad, the whole shtick is that the character turns bad.
it's
In Better
Vince
Call
Gilligan.
Saul, he's slimy. This character's got to have some good in her.
Well, in
I
Better Call
believe
Saul,
he
he
can
turns
write
out
it.
he's good and then gets slimy. So it's like that.
Right, but what I'm saying is
It's all the opposite character. So like this is what
Yeah.
Vince has done with you. Just brought up these shows. We literally have a character. Here's who they are as a person. They're an awful person. I'm sure we're gonna be like Carol's like the savior figure.
I
That's
believe
what she's
it.
gonna get turned
Yep.
into. Just how Walter White turned into like a timid school teacher that couldn't stand up for himself to basically a mob boss. Saul, who was like, just down on his luck guy trying to do the right
Yeah.
thing, turned to be like, well, I'm just a slimy dude. So
I hope they do that.
we're literally getting the reverse of those shows with this. This is my opinion.
And that's what I'm hoping, Mark. But
Yeah.
based on his 2 last shows, there's part of me that goes,
How could you get more
the-
slimy?
well, here's why. The bad guy is really nice. So what's the inverse of very nice? He has to make a foil. And if let's take it a step further. If her evil, if her anger, if her rage is what kills these things, what is to stop her as a character from wanting to seek out more anger, rage, and vengeance? I don't know.
She
It
turns into
given the
Batman?
information I know. Maybe. Could she?
Well, she's
So I don't know.
might use
I
that
could
then,
see.
yeah.
Regardless, I'm interested in it. I really love it. I can't wait to watch the next episode tomorrow. And Isaac, we alluded to this earlier, but the fact that all the characters that weren't infected wanted to become infected or were like so cool with it was crazy.
So I got to talk about that a little bit. So that second episode, that's a crazy twist that I was not expecting at all. And I love that she like walks away from that meeting basically alone in this fight. Like that's crazy. And the fact that like she's still, as she's storming away, she does the thing, probably kills, whatever, 12 million people or something again. She pointed out before she stormed away, like she asked them like, hey, how many people died when you guys took over? And it was something like almost 1 billion. It was like 800 million or something like that. And nobody else is fazed by that. That blew my mind. I was like, this alien virus, whatever you want to call it, just took out 1/8 of the world's population, and you're okay with them taking over your mind.
Yeah, but they're quick to dunk on Carol because she made a couple million more people die.
Well, and that's the thing Carol didn't bring up. It's like,
Insane.
I watched my friend die for this. So like, I'm sorry.
That
your
wasn't her
grandpa
friend.
died.
That was not her friend. That was her lover.
Well, anyway, sure, Max, whatever. You know what I'm getting.
Very close friend.
Like she had a very personal relationship
on the
with
nose.
this person that died like with her, and like to me it's like, yeah, okay, yeah, her grandpa died, but like I also like she didn't bring that up. I feel like,
But
she
like
brought up
the
that
other
context.
people had to have people that died in that too, right? Like that's just wild to me that they are okay with this. And even 2 or 3 of the characters express like, yeah, I actually want to become part of this hive mind, like,
which is
wild.
crazy. That's
insane.
The guy that like wants to just have sex with all the women.
Exploit
Okay,
his
but
new
the
thing.
gal that is saying she wants to become the hive mind is nuts.
They're
nuts.
Well, and that might go back to like how where's her mental state at? Like that's another thing that's being played in here is like where is people's mental capacities of mental health that really go on? Where it's like this lady probably is so sad she's not with her family. That's why she wants to be with the hive. Like, yeah, she has her family with them, but they aren't really her family. And then you have the lady with this who's traveling with her son and husband and mother. It's like clearly you were just like, I still at least have my kids. So like, but they're not really your kids. Like Carol points out, Carol has nobody. So that's why I think she's the most clear headed about this
Right,
whole subject.
exactly.
And like the guy, and I'm blanking his name, or like we got the old, like some of the older people too there with their husband and wife, where it's like, yeah, I think they're too old to really care about it. And then we got the guy who's like, oh, this is the best time of my life because now I get whatever I want, but there's got to be an end game. There's totally like, what is the story
Here's something
gonna move
interesting
forward?
that I
Yeah.
thought in that second episode with that guy specifically. So, they have their fallout, whatever. Carol is like going away. She comes back to him, like to meet with him specifically, and is like, he kind of is like getting in Carol's ear, like maybe this isn't a bad thing. Like, just think about it type of deal.
Yeah, and there's no war, no
Right.
like
Right.
stuff
He
like
points
that.
out all the good things about this.
No shootings, no
But
murders.
he also is benefiting from all of this happening, and him not being a part of the hive mind, he loses all that if he becomes a part of the hive mind. I wonder if he realizes that through the course of this show and is like, you know what, I don't want to lose all of this, and eventually comes to be on Carol's side because of that, because he seems like
He gets burnt
a
out
pretty
with all this
selfish guy.
stuff. Yeah.
Do you really want to be a part of the hive mind where you lose yourself completely? I don't know if you
I
will.
go back to this. What is the purpose? Like, are we going to get like they're building some ship or some like antenna to like get like wherever this virus came from, this 4-chord thing, or from like what was it, 600 light years away? So like to me, like that was a lot of information they dropped on us in that first episode. It's like that's got to be mean something down the
Right.
road, right? Like
Yeah, maybe the entity that did it is a bigger entity on other planets. So it's not an alien, but it's like one entity trying to unite intergalactically, and Earth is the like they're not aliens, but they've built some algorithm that humanity discovered, figured out, and solved.
right,
Yeah.
then
And
started
it is the
looting
secret.
each
It is
other.
the secret to like happiness. You won't be sad ever again, right? Like
But it's then okay. At the same time, though, it's like, well, then we look at Loki and the Avengers movie. He was basically doing the same thing. So what's wrong with that? If that's our thought with this Unimind,
this is an individualism versus corporate conversation.
right? So
And
then-
I've heard some people who are like calling this like, oh, it's an artificial intelligence. Everyone's giving into artificial intelligence. Like, that's not it. That is like so not at all how I watched this and interpreted it. That's a bit of a stretch. I like the demonic thing though, Mark.
my
I like
mind
the
went
demonic
to
thing.
like the alien signals a false flag, and it's really some demonic invasion. That's what's going to come.
That's something that did not cross my mind at all. So
instantly
I love
went to that right away, and that was my like, yep, putting the tinfoil hat on. I listened to enough of these podcasts about this that
Oh man,
the unification. We all can be powerful together if we connect. That's
This show can't go more than 3 seasons either, right? Like this.
Right.
This is a pretty short shelf life, I feel like.
That's
too.
so much
Yeah,
money's
I
being
think this
made.
has got to be a limited series type a deal, because like, I mean, unless they're stretching out saving the world into several seasons, I mean, possibly could do that, I guess.
You got
but
a minimum 2 seasons to really flesh out this world. I think if you're doing
Right.
like 8 episode seasons, and then you could do another 2 kind of wrapping it all up. But again, Vince is
2 seasons wrapping it up after it
Oh,
all is
th-
done.
this-
I say
I
as
don't
long
know,
as
man.
Vince
3 season
Gilligan's at the
show.
helm of
3
it and writing
seasons.
this all, we could get 7 seasons. Who knows?
Is this a backdoor? Is this a backdoor X-Files pilot?
I literally got a lot of vibes of X-Files. Or like this feels like this would be an X-Files movie.
Yeah.
That, like, Mulder and Scully are trying to figure out. So
Just one clarification point. If they rebooted X-Files, I'm all in on that.
they are. aren't
Our
they?
generation's
Aren't
ready
they?
for an
Who was
X-Files
talking
show.
about that? I was
That was
just
Kugler, remember? Kugler was going to do it.
Yes. Oh yeah, that's
Because
right.
Kugler's
Kugler's mom's a
is
big
like
fan.
the biggest fan of X-Files, and he's
And
like,
that's
you
another
got
thing.
it.
You
I'm
don't
on
need
it.
to reboot it. You could do the traditional where it's like it's just a new group of people
Just
in
keep
the same
formula,
world.
right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like, hey, Fox is still around. You can still go talk to him. He's like the lone gunman type of people now, or something like that. You could literally bring it up like, here's a young guy or young gal or whoever, whatever Brian Cooler wants to decide, stumbles
to
onto
rewatch
the
that.
X-Files again, and then goes and like, starts connecting dots. Like you literally could just stay in the same world, not reboot it, and just tell new stories. Especially in the modern setting, that would be great.
Yeah, 100%.
Especially
That'd
so
be
many
sick.
conspiracy theorists that are out there now. It would be so many stories Ryan Coogler could tell on this.
Ripe. It's ripe for the picking.
Okay, Mark, if you had to like put a wager on how this bad boy ends this season,
Just
first season, like what's the twist at the end of the
Well,
season?
the cliffhanger's got to be something that Carol like discovers something nefarious. I would say it's the obvious choice. What that nefarious thing is, if she figures out what the Hive really their real intentions are, or we find out like the guy that is kind of trying to befriend her that were trying to convince her turns out to be part of the hive, and that was kind of a trick they made.
Ooh.
Because you gotta think of
That
that.
would be
You would think
interesting,
there's
yeah.
enough people that they could decide, like, hey, if we play one person, we could probably play one person really like normal, and maybe she wouldn't pick it up on that. Like, what's stopping them?
They risk her being mad at them.
Could. But also, to me, if I'm Carol, I'm like, well, where are you? Also, does she discover where they're making or trying to figure out this synthesis to like infect people who aren't affected like that? Or does she find this facility and they're testing all? They're not killing them, but they're doing some horrific testing on the people that are like her, so that they could try to figure out how to infect everyone else who isn't.
Because they infected the masses through the air, right? That's how they did it. They dropped like with the plane, they dropped the air.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because that was the whole thing. They tried to do everything. And that's also another thing. You do flashbacks of, she talked about this in second episode, where we tried to do it secretly and then the government found out about it.
Mm-hmm.
So like, to me, it's like, what's going on? To the government's like, what the heck's going on here?
Yeah, there's going to be some guy at that thing that doesn't get infected but sees the inception of it.
Yeah.
Or there's some gal, or there's going to be characters that pop up, and all these events matter.
Or will we get a character that was infected and then become uninfected, but then it can still kind of hear the mind, but they can't hear their mind? Something like that. Is there going to be a character like that? I don't know.
Yeah, I also there weren't a ton of kids in this episode. I know there was the
baby,
neighbors,
the baby
thing,
in
the baby thing was
in the
tough.
hospital made me so. I was like, oh my gosh, I am
that
just
was
like.
tough. So sad.
So to me, it's like, where's that baby? Is the baby being cared for, or is that like one of the
Yeah.
deaths?
I wonder if babies will be something.
Because it's another thing too.
I
Like
really
they
don't.
need to repopulate to continue the hive going. So like, what is a hive baby? How does that work?
Or what if like the inception was with the mouse, right? What if like the Black Plague is how you stop it? Or what if it's like a mouse bites, does the inverse, right? She finds out it came from a mouse.
Disease.
What if
But I can imagine she discovers
counteracts
that though. Like, I can't believe she discovers the cure. That to me would just be kind of really.
No, she'll need another character to do that.
Yeah, someone else would have to do that. But she
sure.
might discover them doing something actually more nefarious. Like they actually are evil and they're not as good as they seem to be.
I could definitely see that, because she seems like she wants to get to the bottom of things. Obviously, probably doesn't have the technical capability to create a cure or whatever, but she definitely seems like she's got the gumption to get to the bottom of whatever mystery this is. So I could see that.
And they are threatened by her, so she is the air quotes nuclear bomb in all this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like she is the one who can really stop them. So if it comes to a point too where they're like they really have to play ball with her.
Well, not necessarily. So I don't think so. So like, if this is what, now you just made me think of this, if they really were afraid of her and not wanting her to be part of it, why don't, with all the people they have, build a giant fortress around her so she can never leave and just let her?
Well, because she would yell at the people building the fortress. Like maybe that's the plan. Maybe they have to con her into going somewhere so that she can't hurt them.
Maybe.
Maybe the plan is build trust. But again, she's in New Mexico. She's in the middle of nowhere. They cannot just drag her somewhere to stop
Also,
her.
if they know now in 2 instances where this has happened, maybe they should be like, hey, when you're around her and we start feeling flustered, maybe everyone that's doing stuff that could be dangerous, you stop for a moment, because we might be going in seizures, and lay down.
Maybe.
That's another thing too that they could be doing now that it's happened twice. Like, third time, shame on you type of thing. So
yeah, I think that's a very clever way of preventing her from going ballistic, and them and the story of they can just kill her and they're done.
But they can't.
Like they're really not being nice to her for the right reasons.
But they could ask other people to kill her.
Well, yeah, I mean, she mentioned in that first episode, I can't protect you from them. I mean, we can protect you. Can't protect you from them, which is interesting comment.
The other show I thought of, which like this show is just, I honestly wouldn't recommend it to anybody, but Sense8 on Netflix. Have you seen that show, Mark?
Mm-hmm.
That show's wild.
Yep.
That got me thinking, like, there's some vibes with Sense8 here too. And based on how they're going with another love interest in episode 2, I could see them potentially kind of following suit on some of those things. I'll leave it at that. But
episode 3 drops tomorrow on Apple Plus.
Yeah, it'll be interesting.
Can't wait. It's shaping out to be a great show. Mark, you already said you gave it a 6 out of 6. I also given it a 6 out of 6 for the first couple episodes. Max, what you got?
6 out of 6. Very optimistic.
Infinity Snap.
This is an Infinity Snap. This is good. This one's real good.
Great show. Great show. I don't know, man. Mark and I talked about Peacemaker being a 6 out of 6 pretty much the whole season up until the finale. So I hope this show, Pluribus, does not take that route. But it's such a different show and different premise. I'm pretty confident. I'm pretty excited about it. It's going to be good.
And it's Apple TV product, so the first season for sure is going to be a
Apple TV
banger.
rocks it. Absolutely rocks it. All right, guys, tell us what you think of Pluribus on our socials. You can hit us up at infinitybrospodcast@gmail.com or the Infinity Bros on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, whatever else we're on. We'd love to hear from you. See what you think of this. Once again, this episode will probably be dropping after episode 3 is airing, and we will probably be following this the rest of the year, I'm assuming, because we are all very excited about it. Infinity Snap from the Infinity Bros. So, Mark and Max, thank you so much for joining me for this episode. You guys rock.
I'm honored to be with you on anything.
Love it.
Thanks for the invite.
You're welcome.
I'm glad Max was able to come with us again.
I'm glad the Portal Master was able to join us for this inaugural Preview Portals segment. All right. Wherever you're listening, however you're listening, thank you so much for making us a part of your podcast experience. We love you 3000. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to the Infinity Bros podcast. You can find the Infinity Bros on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitch, and YouTube at The Infinity Bros. You can also check out our website at theinfinitybros.com for links, reviews, and sweet merch. Feel free to send us listener feedback via social media or email at infinitybrospodcast@gmail.com.